Urban Crag Climbing Center is a rock gym located in Dayton, Ohio, with 8,000 feet of textured and sculpted vertical terrain ranging from 28 to 56 feet. For more info, go to urbancrag.com or call 937-224-CRAG. You are the owner of Brim Hat Shop here on 5th Street in the Oregon District. You guys just opened up. Like, when was your official opening date?
We opened on Urban Nights, which was September 14th.
Yes.
We opened at 5 o'clock. And right in time for Urban Nights. It was kind of a race to the finish. And we had a huge response from the community, which was awesome.
And what made you decide to get into the hat business? That Dayton needed a hat business, and that's the business to pursue.
Well, my husband and I moved here 4 years ago from Boston.
Okay.
And there was a hat store that we used to go to all the time there called Salmagundi that was... It's really what we sort of modeled the business after. They did a really good job of matching people to hats, and of having a really big range of hats, from very casual things to very fancy things. And my husband has an exceptionally large head, not an exceptionally large head, but a large head. He's a double XL.
Okay.
So it's a little hard for him to find hats, and since we moved here, he had actually not been able to purchase a single hat, except when we went back to Boston to get him a hat. And when the smoke shop down the street got raided back in March, we played our favorite game, which is you know what this town needs? And one of the things that came up was, somebody needs to open a hat store. And then we thought about it for a couple days, and we finally were like, you know what? We need to open a hat store. We really want this, so we should make it happen.
Because there's really no such person as somebody. Right.
Somebody is always you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, holding out hope that someone else is going to do the thing that you really want done is silly, because if you think the city needs it, then you should make it happen.
I wished for an alternative media outlet in the city of Dayton for so long. And so I started one the way I wished one would be.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's really what's running this town now that's what's happening. It's that people are saying there are all these things we don't have and that we need. And that everything we don't have that we need is an opportunity for somebody to get in there, get their hands dirty, and do it. And in a bigger city, that would be a much more challenging thing to do. Dayton is very manageable. The expenses are relatively low for just about anything. And so it's really, I like to say that Dayton is for dreamers. That you can, you have this thing that's your big, audacious idea, and you can go out there and you can do it.
So what did it take to go from, boy, this town needs a hat shop, to actually making a hat store?
Well, we ultimately decided not to rent. This building was for sale, so we purchased this building. And then we spent, really up until the minute that we opened, renovating this floor of this building. The upper 2 floors still need a lot of work. But we took up 3 layers of floor, 2 layers of wall, took out a ceiling, knocked out plaster. Every single thing in this store we built ourselves. The only 2 things that we didn't do ourselves were this really beautiful hand-lettered sign over here, which is by Mr. Zachary Armstrong. And then Zach actually also helped us to do the resin for the penny counters.
Okay.
Because you need blow torches to do that. And
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
And, blow torches was a little, all around. We were like, you know what? Zach knows how to do this. We should just have him do it. So,
okay.
Other than that, it was us and our friends in here rolling up our sleeves.
Your elbows in your grease.
Taking out dumpster after dumpster full of junk.
I think this used to be an adult store.
This was an adult bookstore.
Okay.
Prior to its time as an adult bookstore, it was called Movie Land for a while, and there was actually an adult movie theater in here.
Okay.
But before that, it was a hardware store for 100 years. We're actually only the 3rd owners of this building.
Oh, wow.
Since it was built. And this is the oldest storefront still existent in Dayton.
And you're in the post-porn era of this building.
It's true. It's true. We are.
What's the biggest challenge that you faced setting this business up?
Actually, I'm going to say the biggest challenge was getting funding for a small business. That there's a lot of money available for what is deemed a small business, but that kind of small business has 30 or 40 employees. Something like us qualifies more as a micro business. We don't have any employees. It's me and my husband. And getting the funding to actually, which we're not talking about huge amounts of money, but getting the funding to do something like this is actually pretty difficult. And there aren't a lot of resources set up to reach out and help people, even though this is, I mean, I personally think that this is what's changing our city and making our city better, is people getting in there and doing it. It's places like So Dayton and Press and Ghost Like Coffee and Olive that are all owner operated. Those people, the people who own those businesses, are in there every day. Working it. I mean, some of them have a couple of employees, but it's not, these are all tiny, tiny, tiny little specks in the business world. And we're the people who are revitalizing the city.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from starting this business?
Biggest lesson?
That you would impart to other entrepreneurs and like-minded people?
Make sure you talk to somebody who will be prepared to talk you down from the ledge. There are many moments when you think, this thing that I'm doing is crazy and impossible, and having a really good friend who's done it before and will say, oh no, that's just that part, it's okay, you get to this part and you'll be fine. Having somebody who can do that for you is unbelievably important.
Okay. You said Urban Nights was packed in here. Did you do sales? Were there sales through the roof?
We sold a boatload of hats. We sold more hats than we expected. We've actually been scrambling this last week to make orders and get more stuff in here. We had to go out and buy storage racks for the back room this week.
Who's your average hat buyer? Or I noticed there's a lot of men's hats in here. We also have female hats.
Yeah, we sold out of a lot of the women's hats. That's actually why we don't have so many. We bought more heavily in men's hats because women will wear men's hats, but men will not generally wear women's hats. Some men do, but I would be really hard pressed to tell you what our average person is. I
haven't been around long enough, really.
Well, and just the diversity of people who come in here has been pretty impressive. Like I sell to grandmas and I sell to.
What do people not know about hats that is coming back?
I think the biggest thing that people don't know is, or that there's kind of this hope about a hat, that the number of people who walk in the door and say, I look terrible in hats. My first question is always, which I never actually asked, but it's my first question is, then why are you in a hat store? And then my second thought is, this is a challenge. I will help this person find the right hat. To date, I've had one person I have not been able to find a good hat for, and I'm still working on that. He just had a very big head. But I think I got the hat in stock. I'm going down there today to try it on.
It's just a size issue.
It's a size issue. He's a XXL.
Okay.
And I had one hat that he didn't really like. So.
Your hats range in price from what to what?
We have things that start right around $20 and go up to over $200.
Okay, and they've got them from designers all over the world. Am I correct?
Yeah, we have a number of things that are made in America, including Bailey, a lot of Broner hats. Biltmore is also made in America. We have hats from Japan by a company called Grace. We have, some stuff by a company out of California called Dorfman Pacific, Scala, Stitch, which are all handmade in New York City. I know there are about a dozen brands we represent, and I have a hard time remembering all of them.
When are you guys open?
We are open Tuesday through Friday from 1 to 8 and Saturdays from noon to 8.
And the address here is?
464 East 5th Street.
Okay.
And we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and on the interwebs.
What is your interweb website?
Our interweb website is www.brimonfifth.com, which is also our username on Twitter and on the Facebook.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say in this interview?
Dayton rocks.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Probably should have
And
devil horns there. So
That's
peace sign
okay.
for Dayton Rocks.
We all know what it means. So, all right, thank you so much for your time.
you.
Is the hat resurgence to do with people who are just sick of looking like teenagers?
You know, I've had a lot of people in actually saying that, particularly men, saying men wear hats and boys wear baseball caps.
Yeah.
And that it's definitely a thing about looking better and feeling better about yourself. The hats are really all about confidence.
100 shirts for only $395. 20 shirts for only $100. Greenleaf Printing and Designs has stupendous signage, printed and embroidered apparel, and promotional products for you. They're at 5526 Burkhart Road in Dayton and on the web at greenleafprinting.com.